whatever is good and perfect comes to us from God above, who created all heaven's lights. James 1:17.
Okay, you want to try it by yourself?
It's week 3. It's time that we learn the bridge. Okay, here we go. Good morning. Welcome to North Point. We're really glad you're joining us online this morning. If you've been with us for the past couple of weeks, you know that we have been learning a song as part of our celebration of Advent Conspiracy this year, and we really want you to join with us. So this morning, wherever you are, I'm challenging you now to sing with us, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to start with the chorus, which we've learned before, should be super familiar, just to kind of get us into it. So here we go. Oh, word of God, let there be light. Cut through the dark, oh, let there be light. Come with and shine in glory bright. Come, word of God, oh, let there be light. Okay, awesome. So that's really familiar. We've talked all through this, and so you should be good to go. What we need to learn is verse 3 and a bridge. So it's going to be okay. Buzzy's going to demonstrate verse 3.
Desperate for the break of dawn, to be won by the risen sun. Grace and justice here collide. Keep us through the night.
Awesome. Okay, so same melody, different words. This is all about us and our relationship with Jesus. And so desperate for the break of dawn, that's us. That's the condition that we're always in as we always need Jesus and searching for Jesus. He is the light. Remember that, okay? So now we're going to move on to the bridge. And again, it's going to be easy. We're going to do this in pieces. Here we go.
Sing now, sing into the dark. Sing a lonely heart. Oh, sing, let there be light.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the song, so now I'm getting really excited, okay? Sing now into the dark, sing to lonely hearts. Who is singing? Well, we know that the Bible says that he will rejoice over you with singing. And so who is he? He is God, the word of God that we've been talking about throughout this song. So we know that God himself sings over us, but that's not all. That's not all. Sing now into the dark. That's for you and me. So when we're singing into the dark to the lonely hearts, let there be light, reaching out to other people who don't know the love of Jesus and saying, there is more for you, there is love for you, and we want to be that reflection of the light of Jesus that we've been talking about through the Advent Conspiracy season. So sing now, sing into the dark, sing to lonely hearts. Okay, let's the next part. Here we go.
2, 3, 4. Sing out when we see the sun, for our light has come, and the dead have come alive.
Okay, so sing out when we see the sun. Remember, who is the sun? The sun is Jesus. He is the light. I am the light of the world, right? We are to be the moon that reflects the sun, right? So sing out when you see the sun, for our light has come and the dead have come alive. For we know that Christ came to take us from darkness to light, from dead to life. And that's what we're singing about in this section. So I know this is fast, but I really feel like you can do this. What we're going to do this morning is we're going to sing the entire song from start to finish. I challenge you to dig into this, to make singing this a corporate effort and something that means something to you. So here we go.
From the KIC composed song that all creation knows, took a mess and you made light, said that there be light.
Word of God, God from the start, recreating human hearts, make us like a moon
just before the break of dawn, to be won by the risen sun. Grace and justice here collide, keep us through the night.
So birds at the dark flight, sing to the one, let there be light. Oh, word of God, let there be light. Cut through the dark, oh, let there be light.
And now here's a, a funny way to start today, but I'm going to tell you something about me that you maybe don't know, but I love mustard. I do. It is, as I have referred to in my home often, it is the condiment of heaven. I love it on hot dogs. I love it on hot pretzels. I put it on, and my sons do this also, and I think it's actually made its way down into my daughters-in-laws, but maybe even into my grandchildren. It will eventually, is that you put mustard on your sloppy joe. We make sloppy joes, and man, it is like the best. I put mustard on my chili dogs. I rub it on my brisket before I smoke it. And you may not know this, but you can even take mustard and rub it on sunburned skin, and it will take the sting out. Although you'll smell like a hot dog afterwards, but whatever. But in spite of how much I like mustard, and maybe you do too, we really don't know much at all about mustard seeds. And you can see this picture right now. These tiny seeds are really, they're just like 1 millimeter in diameter. They are so very tiny. And usually the mustard plant grows as like clumps of bushes that usually range about 3 feet to 5 feet in height. But in the right conditions, I suppose, these wild mustard plants can grow together, and they can grow to 15, 18, even 20 feet high, these massive bushes that are all clumped together. It was something that was not uncommon in the region where Jesus found himself preaching. And he used one day the mustard seed as a metaphor for explaining heaven. In Matthew chapter 13, verses 31 and 32, we read this story. He put another parable before them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is larger than all the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches." There was another time that Jesus connected the size of the mustard seed to the size of faith. That is not what is happening here at all. I imagine this picture that Jesus painted right here probably shocked those who were listening as he compared this tiny, tiny seed to the kingdom. Israel was expecting a conquering king. They had for generations expected the Messiah to come, and that the Jews would begin to take their rightful position over the Romans or over the Egyptians. But here Jesus compares the kingdom to this little seed, like the tiniest of seeds. Now, we have the ability to look back in time. We have our Bible. We can make references to stories and history. And I think we can see the truth of this parable when you think back over what God did in just the life of Jesus. You see, King Jesus didn't first enter the world on some majestic traveling in with a majestic cavalry with a purple robe on a red carpet surrounded by blaring trumpets, but he came as a baby in the womb of a young, insignificant girl in a small, insignificant town. His first followers were anything but influential and respected. They were but a dozen working class men and some women who refused to play by cultural expectations. His friends were society's rejects. His greatest sermon spoke of humility and simplicity and trust and love, not power. His boldest statement in life came by being nailed to a cross in humiliation, in rejection. The Jesus movement didn't begin with some kind of an orchestrated launch, but with around 120 people, slightly more than the people that gather in our room on Sunday mornings, because that's the capacity that we have. Kingdom seeds are not big. And kingdom seeds are not even small. Kingdom seeds are extraordinarily small. So you know what that means to me? When it comes to issues of the kingdom, we need to keep things like size and influence in perspective. Tiny mustard seeds grow up to be clumps of bushes that occasionally, under the right circumstances, get bigger. But we are often people who become churches who get infatuated with stature and reputation and importance and leverage instead of character and humility and Christ-likeness. It can happen so quickly. It can happen to the best of us when we aren't even looking. Most days anymore, I am crushed by the power grab and the mingling of church life and politics happening all around us. I get up and I read the daily news, and it just feels like my heart is being crushed as I watch the reputation of the church be publicly humiliated because we can't seem to keep ourselves from wanting more and more power and influence. Kingdom efforts were never meant to be crusades, any more than they are meant to be demonstrations. Kingdom efforts are seeds. They are prayers and sermons and conversations and practical steps of obedience and acts of kindness and compassion. That's what kingdom efforts are. This means that the true activities of the kingdom will often feel small, sometimes too small. Feels like the world is crashing in these days, don't you think? There are signs of decay and darkness all around us. We often get together and speak of life as it used to be, or as we knew it in the past. Yeah, life as we knew it is passing. So many conversations I have with people speak of their lives being stagnant. Joy is hard to find. Sometimes hope is even harder to find. So what can a bunch of average people do in the face of all of this? Big problems need big fixes, right? No, not always. True kingdom seeds are often the tiny beginnings of unexpected kingdom influence. We can never forget that. So keep praying small prayers and having simple, honest conversations and planting modest seeds of love and compassion wherever you go. That is kingdom work. And we can't ever forget that. And remember that kingdom growth is always up to the King. So don't ever diminish the seemingly insignificant seeds that are being sown around you all the time. You know, it's pretty incredible to think that the full kingship of Jesus was established by way of an event in history that was designed to completely strip him of all his significance, all his reputation, and all of his earthly power, by subjecting him to the most heinous and insulting and degrading death the Roman Empire couldn't inflict on any person. But from the cowardice of dark and small human hearts, the death and resurrection of Jesus gave rise to a kingdom unlike any other in human history. And we pause right now to remember what happened on the cross and in the tomb. We remember that with the bread and the juice each time we meet together. So until next time, I'll see you.
I am guilty, ashamed up to the Holy One.